This is the true story of the Jewish people who, despite dire warnings from the prophets of old, turned their backs to God. They were corrupted by the idols of their pagan neighbors and rebelled against the laws of their faith. Their disobedience led to the protective hand of God being removed from their lives and their nation, and eventually to the captivity of themselves and their children. They traveled long distances, forced to live in a land that was not their own. I am one of those children who was born into captivity due to the disobedience of my ancestors. of a little Jewish girl named Hadassah, who grew to be the queen. But But it's not just her story. It's my story too. My name is Sarah, and I was her friend. Looking back, I made many decisions that have left me with regret. But one decision I don't regret was being her friend. She taught me what it means to love, and she showed me that we can trust God, even when things seem hopeless.
Look, there's a frog.
Ew, don't touch it.
You know what we should do with this?
Nuh-uh, no way. Last time you got me in trouble.
Yeah, sorry, but it'll be different this time.
I doubt that.
It will be.
Maybe. Different how?
We won't put it in his food this time. How about down his shirt?
My mom's right there.
She'll think it's funny.
Have you met my mom?
Aw, you're no fun. Please.
No, and I think I'm going to go sit away from you so I don't get blamed.
Hadassah!
What, Uncle Mordecai? Is something wrong? Why are you holding a frog?
Hold this for me, would you? I'm gonna get you for that little one. Oh my, would you look at this? Come here close so I can miss. Better run, you better hide. I will catch you.
Father's sake, Uncle Mordecai said he's going to get me.
I think you bother with yourself.
But Father!
Having fun is what I do. Playing games and running after you. You're not gonna get away from me this time.
Are you sure about that? Having fun is what I do. Playing games and throwing things at you. Sorry, Uncle, I won't do it again.
Here I come now.
I think that you're just too slow.
Just wait till I catch you.
Maybe you have gotten old. Put me down.
Having fun is what we do. Playing games and spending around with you.
Enough! There isn't a moment's peace when the two of you are together.
You got off easy this time. If you think this is bad, you should have seen him as a boy.
It's not hard to imagine. Now settle down, children.
My, you certainly have your hands full.
That I do.
Well, my husband should be home by now. I best be leaving.
So soon?
Hush, Sarah. Help me gather your sister.
Yes, Mother.
Thank you for dinner.
You're most welcome.
Bye. Bye.
I think she was upset.
She's always upset. Hadassah, be respectful. Sorry, Mama.
Do I not get an apology for being attacked by a frog?
You know you love frogs.
No more frogs, or next time you won't be so lucky.
Huh. Luck. It seems if we were God's chosen people, he would have given us a little more of it.
It's not God's fault the world hates us. It was our people that turned their back against God.
Well, at least he can intervene a little from time to time.
Remember, it was our sins that first removed God's protective hand from our people.
Haven't we suffered enough for our sins? We've already paid double in what we owe in taxes this month alone.
It's not God stealing from us to stuff his pockets.
Well, I guess I'll have to learn to be content with nothing then.
Nothing? How can you say of nothing? You have our love.
You're a fool.
I know.
It's your turn. Another stone for me.
A flute, my dear.
Fluke, you mean I'm a better mancala player than you?
Papa, is Mama really better than you?
No, darling. I'm just a husband who lets his wife win.
You lose, and saying it's because you're letting me win? I don't think so.
We are here to collect your taxes.
At least we already know we pay 2 times over.
Your father's right. You can rest easy. It's not us they want tonight.
Ah! Where are you taking my father?
Please don't hurt him.
What's going on out there? They sound angry.
I'm sure it's nothing. Hadassah, come away from the window and help me win this game.
It's your turn. You might come out on top. After all, you never know.
Over here, check this house. We are here on the king's orders.
Mama, it's your turn.
Oh, that's right.
They're coming.
I have almost all of the stones. It looks like the end is not far off.
How about you and the children play hiding and seek, Mordecai?
Yes, I've heard Hadassah has some excellent new hiding spots. You'll never be able to find her.
And stay close to your mama.
I want to play. Can we play, please?
Turn down a game of hide and seek with the master hider? Never. But you must remember to stay hidden until I come find you. No matter what you hear, you must not make a sound.
I won't make a sound. I promise. Now count.
1, 2, 3,
And no peeking.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ready or not? Here I come.
I'm here to collect what you owe me.
But we already paid you.
You dare argue with me? If I say you didn't pay your taxes, then you didn't pay your taxes.
But what is here so they pay twice?
You're mistaken. Check your records again.
Of course, sir. You're right.
But we have nothing left to give you.
Fine by me. Gives me an excuse to execute another Jew.
You can't be serious.
Arrest him.
No, please, you can't, you mustn't, no.
Have you no mercy?
Yes, you're right, of course. The love you have for your husband is touching. I won't separate you.
Thank you.
I'll arrange for you both to be executed.
Oh, no.
Your husband for evading his taxes, and you for assaulting one of the king's noblemen.
No. Oh, children, I must go for a little while, but you must stay here with your uncle.
Your children go where you go. I'll put an end to this whole filthy family.
Oh, no.
Haman, you can't.
Silence, Mordecai. Just because you are the king's gatekeeper doesn't make you any less of a Jew or beyond my reach. Address me again, and I'll petition the king for you to follow these swine to their debts.
Uncle Mordecai? Huh, I knew you wouldn't find me. Where are Mama and Papa? Are they hiding too?
The years passed after the day that my friend lost her parents. Mordecai loved her and raised her. A short time before her 18th birthday, the king threw a huge celebration. For 6 months, the king displayed the vast wealth of his empire to the entire realm. People were in awe at the great riches that they saw. When the 6 months were ended, the king threw a banquet for all of us that lived in the realm. Important and unimportant alike came. Drinks were served in golden goblets, and the wine flowed freely. The king told everyone to eat and drink as much as they liked, and everyone said what a generous king he was. Hadassah and I were in awe of everything that we saw.
And then, when he realized he had tried to steal the horse of a king and not the horse of a soldier. Enough jokes. Let us be merry. danced to celebrate another victory of the Persian Empire. Drink your fill as much as you desire.
To King Xerxes!
To King Xerxes! To King Xerxes and his generosity!
To King Xerxes and his generosity.
To King Xerxes and his generosity, whose wealth and power exceed all who've gone before him.
To King Xerxes and his generosity!
Thank you, my friends.
To Queen Vashti!
Well, my wealth and power is nothing compared to the beauty of my wife. I believe you've had enough toasting.
Yes, Your Majesty.
And you, Admatha, have had enough to drink.
Where is the Queen?
She is throwing her own banquet.
She prefers her own company to that of the King.
Of course not. She loves me as I love her.
Then forgive me, Your Majesty. But why then is she not here?
It pleases her to have her own banquet, and it pleases me to have a happy wife.
But my King, doesn't this make you appear weak?
Should not the Queen desire to please her King?
Send for Queen Vashti that we may see her beauty. Bring out the Queen!
Bring out the Queen!
I will show you my Vashti. Send for the Queen, and be sure she's wearing a royal crown, that we may all see her beauty.
Yes, Your Majesty.
I want Queen Vashti gone now, not later.
Be patient. It'll happen.
Why should I be patient for something far better suited for me? I deserve her crown.
Unseating a queen is no easy task. It takes time.
We'll see about that. What is it, Belshazzar?
My lady, the king desires your presence at his banquet.
Oh, well, do I have time to change?
Please do not tell whether you plan on answering this demand.
I wasn't sure. You don't think I should?
He calls for you, the Queen, as he would a commoner. If he truly desired your presence, he would have come here himself.
Why didn't he come for me himself?
Has he missed you so little? He does not want to see you alone, but among a multitude of spectators.
No, my lady. He speaks of his great love for you to anyone who will listen.
Sounds to me like you are nothing more than a prized object.
And to those who won't listen.
He does?
He boasts of your beauty and how fortunate he is to have you. He even wants to present you wearing your royal crown.
Ladies, the king thinks the queen has nothing better to do than parade before his little friends. You're right. I am queen. I will not be summoned.
But my lady, the king honors you by wishing to boast of you.
If the king is so bewitched by you, then let him beg for your attention.
You will tell the king that I am occupied with my own affairs. His can wait.
But my lady, you will humiliate him in front of all his guests and break the law by disobeying his command.
I'm queen. Such laws do not apply to me.
You have your orders, now go.
Yes, my lady.
Now the king will see that you're not a woman to be trifled with.
Ah, here comes Belshazzar.
But where is the queen? She must be readying herself. Did you deliver the king's message?
I did.
Well, ma'am, where is she?
My king, may we speak privately?
Whatever you have to say, you may send one of my closest advisors.
The queen wished me to tell you.
I don't see her. Where did you tell her to stand?
I'm sorry. The queen wished me to tell you.
Tell me what?
To tell you that she is preoccupied with her own affairs and will not be attending this banquet.
You have delivered your message. Now go.
Yes, your majesty.
Everyone leave. What should be done to Queen Vashti? She has broken the law by defining you.
Is it really so bad?
Yes, this is bad. Queen Vashti has not only insulted you, she has insulted every last man in your province.
It is me she has refused to see. Why do you feel insulted?
Because everyone, including all our wives, will hear what the queen did this evening. They will say, "Did you hear how the queen refused to obey the king?"
Oh no, he's right.
If the queen gets away with such behavior, every woman, everywhere, will begin treating their husbands with contempt.
The women, they'll be out of control.
Is this what we want? A country full of angry women who don't know their place?
They'll be known to the disrespect. Heaven help us all.
So, what should be done to Queen Vashti, who has broken the laws of the land?
Please, king, you must do something.
I advise you to issue a royal decree so that Vashti is to be banned from the palace and never again to be in the presence of King Xerxes.
Surely it hasn't come to that. Perhaps a public rebuke. Something. Anything else, I'll forgive her for this wrong. She is my wife.
She has already made you appear weak in front of all your guests.
If you do not act decisively, all the realms that were represented here may begin to think they can overthrow a weak king.
Just because you take away Vashti's crown doesn't mean you have to be alone.
Yes! Let Vashti's royal position to be given to someone who is better than she.
Someone who can teach our wives to behave.
Then, once your edict is proclaimed throughout the land, every woman from the least to the greatest will give their husbands the respect that they deserve.
Let it be done. See that Vashti is removed from the palace.
Yes, your majesty.
You did what is right, sire.
Yes, you cannot afford to appear weak in front of your enemies.
Well, Belshazzar, did the king receive my message?
Yes, the king did receive your message, Vashti.
What did you call me?
How dare you address the queen so informally?
The king has issued a decree. You are no longer queen.
No longer queen?
You are to be escorted from the palace at once.
This is absurd. I will speak to my husband now.
You broke the law of the land. You left him with little choice.
A miscommunication is all this is. I will apologize in the...
Remove her from the palace at once.
I will not be treated like this. I am the queen.
Oh! No!
Later, the king's anger cooled, and he began to regret his decision to exile Queen Vashti. The king's advisors, however, did not want Vashti back, So they began to hasten the process of finding a new queen. I was filled with naive excitement as they began to collect beautiful, unmarried women from all the provinces of the kingdom and bring them to the palace.
Don't even think about it, Hadassah. Hand it over.
So, you finally caught me, and it only took you 10 years.
Well, that means 10 years worth of payback starting now.
And you think I'm afraid of a frog?
You will be. If you have to kiss it.
And you wanted death.
Oh no.
Daniel!
How are you, Daniel? Or Belteshazzar? Or whatever they are calling you these days.
What is it with kings and changing my name?
It's good to see you again, Daniel.
Hadassah, you've become more beautiful since my last visit.
That she has.
You've done a great job raising her, Mordecai.
Who knew such beauty can come from ashes? So, my old friend, how is palace life?
The king's never-ending feast has kept me very busy.
6 months of celebration. There are worse jobs to be had.
Oh, it's been rather eventful, but I try to avoid the pagan celebrations when I can.
It is a difficult lot you and I have, trying to remain faithful to Yahweh while in service to the king.
That's an understatement.
Yes, one that nearly cost you your life.
Oh, on several occasions. Though this time, I am not the one who has fallen out of the king's favor.
Oh.
Have you not heard?
No. Heard what?
Vashti is no longer queen.
No!
And now his advisors have persuaded him to gather all of the eligible young women in our province.
What for?
Can't be serious.
What for?
Hadassah, would you go get us something to drink?
No? Okay.
I can't believe the king would do something like this.
He was reluctant at first, but this is Babylon.
What will become of these girls?
He will choose one to be queen.
And the others? I have to get Hadassah out of here tonight.
You can't, it's too late.
I must at least try. I cannot let this become her fate.
It is too late to stop what is in motion.
Why didn't you warn me sooner?
I came as soon as I heard the decree, but the women are already being gathered as we speak, and there are guards posted at every gate. I came to warn you, not so she could escape, but so you would have time to say goodbye.
How can I let this become her life?
You do not have a choice. That is what I came to tell you. You must prepare her for what is to come.
Hadassah!
Sarah!
Time is short. My guess is that they will collect her by sundown tomorrow.
Did you hear the news?
Yes, it's very sad. Poor Vashti, from peasant to queen to peasant again.
Poor Vashti? Poor Vashti? Don't you realize what this means?
It means Vashti will live the rest of her life alone.
Oh, Hadassah, why do you always think of everyone else all the time? It means so much more than that. It means the king is alone.
So?
So, he will need a new queen.
Sarah, you dream too big. Do you forget that you're Jewish? The king would no more desire you or I than he would desire a pebble in his shoe.
He chose a peasant once.
Yes, but she was not a Jewish peasant. And besides, you know how the Babylonians hate our people, our faith.
He will not care that I am Jewish. You will see. I will find a way to make him see me.
Okay. But if you do as you say, all is right, because you'll be in the palace and I'll be here. I miss you terribly.
I would not forget about you when I am the queen. You can come and visit me in the palace.
Open up.
I thought the women from this district weren't supposed to be gathered until tomorrow evening.
You risk much coming here. You must not let them find you here with us.
Yes, you're right. I must leave. I'll do what I can to look after her once she is taken into the palace.
Thank you.
Well, I had best be going. Goodbye, Hadassah.
Goodbye, Sarah. May God be with you. What is it, Uncle? You seem worried. if you're worried about Sarah.
Listen, child. The king's men are down the street this very moment looking for a new queen.
Why, that's great. Maybe Sarah has a chance after all.
No, you don't understand. They are gathering all merry women. All of them, do you hear me?
But that would mean... Oh no, I can't leave you. I don't want to be queen.
You wouldn't be Queen Hadassah. They're gathering all the merry women, yet there can only be one queen.
No, I will not. I can't. How could I ever face you again? Face my God again? It's too horrible to even think about.
It is the life that has been forced upon you. You must accept this or you will die.
No. Please, Uncle. I've already lost my father. I can't be torn away from you too. And for such a reason.
No more time for tears, Hadassah. I hear the soldiers getting closer.
Already? I'm not ready. I'm scared.
I know, child. But you were right with what you said, Sarah. The king will never choose a Jewish woman.
Well then, there is no hope for me, for that is who I am.
Not anymore.
Not anymore? I am being torn from you and will suffer such shame, and you wish me to deny my God as well? No, it's too much.
No, never deny your God. But you must hide that you are Jew if you have any chance of becoming queen.
I do not wish to become the queen of such a man who would force me to leave my home.
Would you rather remain a concubine? No, Hadassah. You must redeem this horrible situation.
But what can I do?
You will no longer call yourself Hadassah. From this moment on, you will be called Esther.
Esther? But Uncle, Papa gave me the name Hadassah. It's all I have left of him, of Mama. I can't do it. I can't leave you. Tell your king I wish to stay here.
You can tell him yourself.
No! Please, just let me say goodbye! Mordecai!
Many young women were brought to the palace, including myself. We were placed in the care of Haggai, who was the overseer of the candidates. Esther was also among these women. Mordecai came to the palace every day and walked outside the court in which she was kept. We all thought he was crazy, but he didn't care what we thought. He sought daily to get news of how Esther was, to find out what she was doing. And every day, he prayed.
You'll wait here.
Isn't this exciting, Hadassah? Us in the palace?
Please, Sarah, you must remember to call me Esther.
Don't see why, but since it's so important to you, isn't this exciting? Esther.
I really don't understand you, Sarah. How can you be excited? You will never see your mother again, nor will I ever see Mordecai.
I'm sure we'll hardly miss them with all the distractions that we'll have here. I've heard that we are to receive 12 months of beauty treatment. Just think, it won't be long before I and the queen.
Only one of us will marry the king. With so many beautiful women. How do you have such confidence, Sarah?
How can you resist?
I don't know. I just feel so lost here.
Then you're sure not to end up as queen?
I am Haman, the custodian of women. I'm here to prepare you for life in the palace. After 12 months, when your beauty preparations are complete, you'll be given whatever you desire to take from the women's quarters to the king's palace.
Anything?
Yes, anything. And when your preparations are complete, you'll go before the king in the evening and in the morning. You'll be taken into his harem. You'll not see him again unless he delights in you and calls you by name. Till that day, I will see that all your needs are met.
Thank you.
What is your name?
My name is Esther.
The months passed, and as they did, Haggai took a special interest in Esther. Though beautiful, it was her kindness that made her stand apart from the other women. I am ashamed to admit what made her stand apart from me. He ordered her special food and gave her 7 servants from the palace. He placed her and her maids in the best rooms. But still, she did not reveal to him or to anyone else her identity. As Haggai's friendship with Esther grew, the other candidates and myself were consumed with envy. Our time of preparation was drawing to a close, and the time of the king's choice was upon us all. I had hoped that the king might choose me, but it was becoming clearer and clearer that that was not to be my fate.
Perhaps it was a mistake for the king to allow his candidates to keep the jewelry they wear for him.
The king may not have much of a treasury left when this is all over. You have been so kind to me this past year, Haggai. How could I ever thank you?
Haggai, I'm craving something sweet.
She asked you to bring me those pastries 5 minutes ago.
When I am the queen, I will no longer tolerate such incompetent service.
You can thank me by by not letting any of these horrid women become queen.
Why does Haggai give special attention to that little brat?
7 servants, all to herself.
It's because she does whatever he tells her to do.
Like that's gonna help her become queen.
Why does that ugly little peasant think that she can get better treatment than me? I grew up in the palace.
If anyone deserves special treatment, you do.
Well, let her have such directions. The king must prefer either of us to her.
Look at my hair, look at my nails, pretty as can be.
Look at my dress, it will impress everyone who sees.
All I need is one day with our handsome king. When he sees me, how can he choose anyone but me? For I want to be queen, so everyone will see how beautiful I am, the fairest in the land. For I want to be queen, for I deserve to be happy, famous, rich, and in love.
It's not fair she always gets the best of everything.
I know it makes me so mad that I just want to scream. Ha! All I need is one day with our handsome king.
When he sees me, how could he choose anyone but me?
So I want to be queen, so everyone will see how beautiful I am, the fairest in the land. So I want to be queen, for I deserve to be happy, famous, rich, and in love.
Let's make her lose her figure, give her these tasty treats.
Or present her with a special gift of poison ivy cream.
Or while she sleeps at night, cut off a lock of her long hair.
We'll do whatever it takes so we can sabotage her there. For I want to be queen, so everyone will see how beautiful I am, the fairest in the land. For I want to be queen, for I deserve to be happy, famous, rich, and in love.
Can I get you anything, Esther?
No, thank you, Haggai. I know you have your hands full.
Look at the way she talks to the servants. It's as if she's one of them. Haggai, come here.
You reign.
My tea is cold.
How hard could it possibly be to get warm tea? Make us a new batch at once.
As you wish. Are you sure I can't get you anything, Esther? I'm headed there anyway.
No, thank you, Haggai. I rather like my cold tea.
It'll be nice to have a queen who's actually kind to her servants.
And how can you be so confident that I will win his affection?
I don't know who he will choose, but if he sees what I did in you, the choice will be simple.
Well then, for both of our sakes, I hope you're right.
Haman worked hard to creep his way into the king's affection. And as a result, the king promoted him, making him the highest ranking official in the government. The king ordered the king's servant at the king's gate to bow down and honor Haman as he would pass by. The Jewish people, under Haman's authority, increased in their suffering. Not only were their daughters taken as candidates, but an evil man was now the most powerful in the kingdom, second only to the king.
Why has my child been taken?
You know why? The king desired a queen.
Ha! A queen! My daughter and yours will be slaves, nothing more. What kind of God would allow this?
Can't blame God in your pain. Remember, it was our people who first rejected him.
Haven't we paid enough for that? Are my hands defiled with blood? So why has God brought evil to my family?
Who are we to judge God?
Don't give me some platitude. God has deserted us.
No, the Lord's hand can still save us.
You and your blind faith. Even now, our daughters are being trained to be concubines, and still you defend him?
You're angry now, but you must trust that they're in the hands of the Lord.
My sweet, kind Sarah sits in that palace alone, friendless.
She is not alone. Hadassah is with her.
I cried out to God, and my daughter is still in that prison. If I can't trust my Sarah's life with God, I will certainly not trust it to that orphan of yours.
His answers are not always what you expect, my friend. But you must learn to trust him even though you get a different answer than you like.
Here comes one of your answers from God now, Mordecai.
All the king's servants at the king's gate honored Haman by bowing and kneeling before him as he would pass by. All except Mordecai. Daily the servants instructed Mordecai to bow, but he didn't listen. And as a result, the servants went to Haman and told him of Mordecai the Jew's defiance. And Haman came to see for himself if Mordecai the Jew would refuse to bow.
Make way! Make way!
It would seem the man who hates us all, especially you, has been promoted.
All hail the king's chief advisor!
You're right, Mordecai. His answers are not always what we expect. They are worse.
Bow and pay homage by order of the king!
Perhaps you are hard of hearing, gatekeeper. I am the newly appointed chief advisor, and I command you to bow to me.
I heard you fine, Haman.
It seems the gatekeeper is in need of a little lesson.
Please, enlighten me.
Gladly. I am second only to the king in this entire realm.
I see.
I no longer need ask for anything. I can snap my fingers and have you executed.
I do not fear death.
It seems you're in need of a demonstration. Guards, bring me that child over there.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you see how my wish is at command, Mordecai?
Let the child go back to its mother.
Do you think that if I gave them the order to kill the child, that they would obey me, the second in all the land?
Your quarrel's with me. Let innocent life out of this.
No Jew, old or young, is innocent.
You've made your point.
Let me tell you what I expect from you next time you see me coming.
I'm all ears. Please, tell
Next time you see me coming, you'll bow before me or I will have you executed. Do you understand?
me. Oh, I understand.
You may get up.
Thank you for that little lesson of yours. But now, let me tell you what you expect from me.
Tell me, Mordecai, if you dare.
Next time I see you, I will not be bowing. I'll be standing and staring at you right as you pass by.
You care so little for your faith that you would defy me to my face and refuse to bow.
I will bow to no man. You act though as you're all powerful and like a god. Yet I will bow only to the one true God. And you, not him.
You dare speak to me like this. I hold your life in my hands.
The only power you have has been granted by the Almighty God. He alone determines my fate.
I might have been satisfied with your death alone for your defiance. But now you mock me, defy me, and refuse to bow. I will give you one last chance not to feel the full weight of my wrath upon you and your household. On your knees, now do.
I never bow to you.
You will pay for this. Know who I am. I am all powerful. I hold his life in my hands, yet he defies me and stands. I'll make him pay. All who see me, they will fear me. I'll hear them whisper, here comes Haman, here comes Haman.
Here comes Haman, bow down, bow. I should be the king and rule all things. Let all who see me worship Haman, worship Haman, bow down, bow down. Get out of my way! Here comes Haman, here comes Haman. Everyone bow before me. Worship Haman, worship Haman. Here comes Haman, here comes Haman.
After 12 months of beauty treatments, we were brought before the king, one by one. Each of us adorned in more jewelry than the last. I remember I could hardly stand from the weight of all the gold that I was wearing. We were all very beautiful, but unfortunately, we were all consumed with our own appearances, with the status we would gain if we became the queen, with the gold, which we could keep if we weren't chosen. So the king became discouraged and took a walk in his garden.
I'm not alone or by myself when things seem so hopeless. No, he's there with me. He's back. Forgive me, Your Majesty. I didn't know you were. If I would have known, I should have never walked this way.
Don't be afraid. You couldn't have known. I don't often come to this part of the gardens.
Forgive me, my lord.
Wait, don't go. Who are you?
My name is Esther, my lord.
Tell me, Esther, what brings you to my gardens?
I like to walk through the gardens in the evening. It's so peaceful out here.
Yes, it is. I often come out in the evenings myself. I like to alone my thoughts at the end of the day.
Forgive me for interrupting your solitude. I'm sure you have much on your mind.
And what makes you think that? Are my gray hairs showing?
I didn't mean that. You have gray hairs?
A king can have gray hairs, Esther.
Oh, yes, of course.
Is something troubling you? What is on your mind?
It's nothing.
Speak freely.
I think you are the king of the entire world. There must be no end to the things that trouble you.
The entire world. Tell me, Esther, what would you do if you were the king of the entire world?
I don't know. I guess I'd pray. A lot.
Well, distraction is better than any solitude the gods might give me. When I can't sleep at night, I often read the daily chronicles of this region.
Sorry.
Do you find my sleepiness amusing?
Oh, no, Your Majesty. It's just that I think the Daily Chronicles would bore the king rather than distract him.
And what would you suggest I read?
A story, perhaps?
I can't believe there's a story I haven't already heard. Do you know one has escaped me, Esther?
That's you, my lord.
Please, proceed.
Oh, all right. There once was a man named Hosea who fell in love with a harlot. Knowing full well who she was and her past, he married her. But even after their marriage, and even after Hosea lavished her with affection, she returned to her harlotry. But Hosea, ever compassionate, sought her out and brought her back and loved her even more. Again and again she was unfaithful.
Stop! That is a horrible story.
I beg your forgiveness, my lord.
Relax, Esther. I'm not about to command your execution, but answer me this. Why would he do that?
Who?
Hosea. Why would he go after the harlot repeatedly, although she's dishonored him, rejected him?
Because he loved her, Your Majesty, unconditionally.
He sounds insane to me.
Forgive me, my lord, but is it customary for you to speak so openly with a commoner?
Is it customary to find a commoner wandering in my backyard?
Please, forgive the intrusion. I shouldn't have wandered so far from a woman's quarters.
So you're a candidate.
Yes, my lord.
I should have guessed. You were too beautiful to be merely just a servant.
I should go.
Aren't you going to throw yourself at me and try to convince me how are you make the best queen, like all the other candidates have done?
No, my lord.
Tell me, does all the wealth and influence that I can provide mean nothing to you?
It's not that.
What about the power and prestige that comes with being my queen? Does that not tempt you?
You speak of all you have to offer, but shouldn't you desire a queen who has something to give?
And what could you possibly give to the man who rules over the entire world?
I could give love.
Oh, really? Of all the world has to offer, love is the most cheaply purchased.
If it is being sold, it is not really love, my lord. True love is given freely, without expecting anything in return.
Freely. And nothing could purchase your love, Esther? Not even half my kingdom?
All the wealth in the world would mean nothing to me if I did not have your heart.
I see. And this is how you win the heart of a king, by your proclamations of love?
Not I, my lord. The king's heart is in the hand of God.
Then perhaps the gods are on your side. You're quite the mystery to me, Esther.
Mystery?
Such a simple view of love. I want to believe it's true.
It is true, my lord.
What if I were to tell you what you desire can be yours?
My lord?
My heart.
The gods are against me.
How can you let a single Jew bother you so much?
We beg your forgiveness, sire.
We did not know you were here, Your Majesty.
Clearly.
Please forgive us, Your Majesty.
Haman, there's a candidate named Esther.
Yes, my lord.
Tell Haggai to make sure she's the next one brought to me.
Very good, my lord.
And no other candidates need to be brought henceforth.
But my king, are you sure that is wise? She is a peasant and...
And nothing. I've made my selection.
Very well, my king.
Haman, ad Malcolm,
Yes.
perhaps you should be more cautious next time you decide to interrupt my private conversations.
Haman was outraged by the defiance of Mordecai. His rage grew daily, and thoughts of vengeance consumed him. It soon became apparent to everyone who knew Haman that the thought of killing only Mordecai no longer satisfied him, for he hated not only Mordecai, but all of the Jewish people.
Oh, yes. You're home. I'm in no mood to be trifled with today.
Oh no, I wouldn't dream of it.
Set 2 extra places at the table.
2 extra places? For who?
Just do as I say.
Yes, sir.
Hadassah, Menuhin, take a seat.
I heard about what happened in the courtyard today.
Everyone heard about what happened at the courtyard today.
I'm too mad to speak about it.
Come, let's take your mind off of it. I can't wait for dinner.
Woman, where's our food?
No, I didn't mean for you to get your Wi-Fi.
Now!
Okay.
Here you go.
About time.
So, how was your day, dear?
Your turn, Haman.
Oh, yes, my turn.
Your promotion is good news for us all.
My promotion is tainted by being defied in the public square by a Jew.
Why didn't you just kill him then and there?
Quickly killing him is too good for him. I want him to suffer.
Well, why don't you do that then?
I was too mad in the moment to think of how he can pay like he deserves.
You? Mad? Never.
challenge. I win.
Nothing ever goes my way.
Says the man who was just promoted second to the king.
What joy can I find in my promotion when Jews still roam the face of the earth?
Why do you harbor such hatred towards the Hebrews?
Why?
Oh no.
I'll tell you why.
You asked for it.
Their precious God commanded them to kill my entire race. Men, women, and children.
What? And King Xerxes allowed this?
It was hundreds of years ago, and Haman's people were horrible anyway. Sacrificing babies, slaughtering families.
You will not speak ill of my people.
Wait a minute. Wait. The Jews killed your entire race. How are you still here?
Thankfully, the Jewish king Saul was slow to obey their God's commands, and a single family escaped.
So he hates the Jews and he hates their God.
And Mordecai is a daily reminder.
Who's Mordecai?
The king's gatekeeper, a Jew who refuses to bow to me.
Do you mean a Jew refused to bow to you, second only to the king? Well, of course, you must kill him then. Slowly, if possible.
Silence, woman.
Well, of course, the only reasonable thing to do is to destroy him.
Are you crazy? Be quiet.
Crush his little head into the ground, and his family with him.
Is it not enough that I am defied by a Jew? Must I also be mocked in my own house?
She was only joking, Haman. Yes. But her words ring true. Perhaps killing this Mordecai you speak of will ease your troubles.
I told you, killing him is too good for him. I want him to suffer.
Make him suffer then. Make him watch as you slaughter all those he loves. His family.
He has no family left. I killed them all years ago.
What is it you want, Haman?
I want to be feared. I want to be worshipped. They will fear me. They'll hear them whisper, "Here comes Haman, here comes Haman." Bow down, down. Why should we not sing and rule all things? Let all who see me worship Haman, worship Haman. Bow down, bow down. I know what must be done.
Kill Mordecai. We know.
No, more than that.
What then?
First, I must become even closer to the king.
Closer to the king? You're already second in command.
But I still must ask permission for decisions that affect the entire realm.
And once you have the ear of the king, then what?
I'll convince him of the dangers of the Jewish people.
Then what? Increase the taxes and throw them in jail? I know. Make them slaves.
No, I'll make Mordecai watch as I annihilate every member of the Jewish race, and then I will kill him. Slowly.
I see now that Esther was wiser than I was. She did exactly as Haggai instructed her. And just as she was, she won the admiration of everyone who saw her. When the king saw her for the first time, he fell in love with her. His affection towards her was greater than that he had ever felt for any other woman. He placed the royal crown on her head and made her the queen in place of Vashti. The king proclaimed a holiday throughout all the provinces and gave gifts with royal generosity. He held a banquet for all of his nobles and officials and called it Esther's Banquet.
Excellent.
Are you enjoying your first day as queen?
My cheeks hurt from smiling.
As is common for most brides on their wedding day.
I had no idea there'd be so many people to greet.
Yes, there are lots of nobles and officials. But I think you'll enjoy meeting this next guest.
Who is it? Mordecai.
It's good to see you, Queen Esther.
There has been so much I wanted to share with you this past year.
I'm really proud of you.
The other candidates thought we had a madman pacing in front of our quarters every morning. But I guess all your praying was paid off.
My lady, the reception line is growing longer.
He's right. If we are to keep your identity secret, we must not draw attention to ourselves.
Belshazzar, you may bring the next guest. I miss you.
My king, there's a matter I wish to discuss with you.
Not now, Haman. Can't the king enjoy his wedding day? Get back to me next week.
Please, your majesty, there's a people scattered throughout the provinces of your kingdom that must be destroyed.
Quite a conversation to have at my wedding. Really? Can't this wait?
I'm afraid not, my king. These people stand in opposition to the realm.
What have they done?
They disobey your laws. They worship another god. It's not in your best interest to tolerate them.
Do you think our treasury is endless?
If it pleases the king, let an order be given for them to be destroyed, and I'll pay for it myself.
Well, it's your money. Here, take my signet ring and do what you must to enforce the law. But only if you promise me. Leave me alone and let me enjoy my new bride.
Of course, your majesty.
Are you sure we should go through with this?
The king has taken my daughter and made her a candidate. And now that he has chosen a queen, Gatha will sit alone in his harem for the rest of her life. But this is my battle to fight. If you back out now, sister, I won't hold it against you.
No, together we'll make the king pay.
Did you bring the hemlock?
Yes. It was hard to find.
It'll be harder still to slip into the king's wine.
More wine!
Well, maybe not. Here comes your chance now.
Hadassah, I must speak with you at once.
Back so soon.
Hadassah, they have just poisoned the king's wine. He's with him even now.
Are you
Yes, go. Warn your husband.
No!
If you want something to drink, all you have to do is ask.
You don't understand. This wine has been poisoned.
Poisoned? On second thought, perhaps you've had enough wine already.
I am not mistaken. See, those responsible are fleeing from the room as we speak.
Stop them and bring them here. There's a simple way to clear up this matter. Have you ever had the honor of sampling the wine from my finest vineyard?
We wouldn't dream drinking from the king's glass, Your Excellency.
Oh, but I insist. Drink.
You first, sister.
I've seen enough. Haman, see that they are escorted to the gallows at once.
With pleasure.
You and your stupid daughter. This wasn't supposed to happen, but it did.
It would seem I owe you my life.
Not I, my lord. It was Mordecai, your gatekeeper, who uncovered the plot.
Then I am grateful to this Mordecai as well. Belshazzar, record these events in the Daily Chronicle.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Come. I think we've had enough assassination attempts for one day. Dance with me.
I remember the day when bulletins were placed in all of the king's provinces with orders to kill, massacre, and annihilate all the Jews. Old and young men, women, and babies on one day that was fast approaching. I knew I was not exempt from this edict, just because I was in the king's palace. And it was then I began to realize my need for God, who I had rejected.
What is this?
A decree issued by Haman's command, sealed with the king's ring, as to send by couriers to all the king's provinces.
What does this decree say?
Read it for yourself, Julie.
What does it say, Mordecai?
On the 13th of the 12th month, the month of Adar, the following edict shall be carried out. All inhabitants of the land are granted the right to destroy, kill, and annihilate all the Jews.
No! Surely this doesn't mean the children.
Women and little children, young and old, and to plunder their possessions.
The king has ordered our deaths!
Mordecai from a little window in my quarters in the harem. And when he learned what had been done, he tore his clothes to shreds and put on sackcloth and ashes. Then he went out into the streets of the city, crying out with loud and bitter cries. I cried with him, quietly and from afar.
But why would he be so upset that he wouldn't accept the clothes I sent to him?
He hasn't spoken a word for days. All he does is weep.
Did he speak to you? What is wrong with Mordecai?
Haman has hatched a plot to murder every Jew in the kingdom, young and old, women and children. From India to Ethiopia, not one will survive.
This cannot be. That's the entire known world.
I'm afraid it's true. Here's the edict.
But the king has never ordered the massacre of innocent people. What made him do this evil thing?
Haman, he's been given the king's signet ring and is acting on the king's behalf.
No. If Haman used his ring, then it's now law and cannot be revoked.
Mordecai says you must go to the king and petition him. Plead before him for your people.
I cannot. Anyone who enters the inner court of the king unsummoned will be put to death.
But you are his wife. Surely he will call for you.
I haven't been called to go into the king for 30 days. He and his work council have been preoccupied for weeks. Surely there is someone else.
My lady.
Tell Mordecai I can't go. Tell him there is only one fate for any person who approaches the king without being invited. Death. The only exception is if the king extends his scepter.
Yes, my lady.
Esther, why didn't you tell me you were a Jew?
I was afraid.
You could have trusted me.
I know, Hagar, and I do trust you.
You have my loyalty, and I and every person in this house will protect you from the edict against the Jews.
Thank you, friend. Attach. What news from Mordecai? Did you deliver my message?
Yes, and there's a second message from Mordecai. He said, do not think that because you are in the king's house that you are safe, and that you alone of all the Jews will escape.
For if you remain silent at this time, help and deliverance will arise for the Jews from another place. But you and your father's house will perish. Who knows if perhaps you have been made queen for such a time
is this.
I see. There has to be more than just this pain. I was brought here for more than what I see. Something bigger than me. God, do you see what is happening? I just don't understand. Why is there pain? Why is there so much sorrow? I don't know. There must be a purpose I can't see, I don't see, but I know you placed me here among a wicked people, wicked land. No, I'm alone. I know you're leading for such a time as this. Quickly, go reply to Mordecai.
And what shall I say to him?
Tell him to gather all the Jews to fast meeting. Tell them to neither eat nor drink for 3 days and 3 nights. I will then go to the king, which is against the law. And if I die, then so be it.
Yes, my lady.
I used to think God, he was to blame. I cried out at night, but he never came. Could he have some plans for my pain? Is this why I lost so much pride, so much I don't know? I know it's leading me here to this hour, this moment. Now I know you placed me here among a wicked people, wicked land. No, I'm alone. I know you're leading me for such a time as this. And whatever my fate, if I live or I die, I'll do what it takes, I will do what is right, for I'm alive for such a time as
Please, my lady, don't do this.
I have no choice.
If you approach uninvited, it will surely mean you're dead.
And if I don't approach, it will mean the death of millions.
Your life is more valuable.
I must go.
And may God go before you.
From afar, I heard the queen's servants beg her not to risk her life by going before the king. They promised they would protect her from harm, but she ignored their pleas to save her own life. When the 3 days of fasting were complete, Esther put on her royal robes and prepared herself to enter the king's throne room. Even though she was afraid, she remained firm in her resolve to fight for her people, even if it cost her life. I saw then what true beauty means, for she was willing to risk her life to save us all, even those of us who had mistreated her. See the fear that is in your eyes, and the cost of this sacrifice. You could escape this and stay alive.
knows the law.
Who does she think that she is?
To come before the king uninvited. This is worse than Vashti's disobedience.
Surely the king won't tolerate this.
It's blatant disregard for protocol. She should be put to death.
Mercy. Huh. Well, you certainly know how to make an entrance. What are you doing here, Esther?
I need to speak with you privately.
Whatever your request shall be given to you, up to half my kingdom.
Half the kingdom.
Here is what I ask of my king. If I found favor in your sight, and if it pleases you, then let the king come with Haman to a banquet I prepared for him.
You risked your life for a dinner?
I'll present my request then.
Very well. Haman, come once, so that way we dine with the queen.
So the king, Haman, and Esther dined together, but she was afraid and did not present her request. I can't say I blame her. The king asked her what she desired and promised her he would give up to half the kingdom, and nothing she might ask would be too great. But she was afraid, and instead of presenting her request, she said, "If it pleases the king to do as I desire, let the king and Haman come again tomorrow to a dinner which I will fix for them. I will present my request then." The king agreed and went to bed for the night in anticipation of his dinner the next day with his wife.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Not the children. Stop. Belshazzar?
Yes, Your Majesty. Is everything all right?
Yes, everything's fine. I just couldn't sleep.
Was it another dream?
Yes, although this one was worse than all the rest.
Perhaps it was not just a dream. Maybe God was revealing something to you.
The gods don't speak to mere men, especially in dreams.
God may speak one way or another, yet men do not perceive it. In visions of the night, he opens ears and he gives men instructions. Even I
do not want to talk about gods who frighten with dreams and terrify with visions. Bring me today's Chronicle of Susa and read them to me, so that I may rest.
Yes, Your Majesty.
When Haman left the palace after his dinner with the queen, he was beaming that favor shone upon him. On his way home, he saw Mordecai. Mordecai ignored Haman and continued in his prayers. Haman became furious, but he tried to hide his anger.
Zeresh, I'm home. Today, your friends are waiting at the table to speak with you.
How was dinner with the queen? That was quite an honor.
Dinner with the queen?
Yes, that was quite an honor. I have more money than the gods, I have many sons, and now, on top of it all, Queen Esther has invited me to a private banquet she was giving the king.
My, that is something.
And she invited me to another one tomorrow.
The gods have smiled upon you.
But I can't enjoy any of it when I see Mordecai at the king's gate ignoring me.
Then don't wait for the edict is carried out.
Yes, it is obvious the gods have favored you.
So what if Mordecai doesn't get to see his people get killed?
He knows it's coming, that's all that matters.
You don't want to lose the king's favor by executing one of his men. Be wise. Speak with the king first.
Yes. Go to him at once and get your permission.
Then you can happily go with the king to dinner tomorrow.
I will do as you say. Mordecai must not live another day.
In the 11th month, which is the month of Sabbath, in the 2nd year of the king's reign, was a man named Mordecai, who was faithful in his duties as the king's gatekeeper. On the 3rd day of the month of Sabbath, which was the king's wedding feast, Mordecai overheard a plot of 2 of the king's guests who had become furious and sought to assassinate the king. So, when the issue became known to Mordecai, he told Queen Esther, and Queen Esther informed the king in Mordecai's name. When the inquiry was made into the matter, it was confirmed, and both those who attempted to kill the king were hung. In the 11th month, which was the month...
Wait, stop there. Go back. What honor has been bestowed on Mordecai for this?
Nothing has been done for him.
Who's on the court?
Haman, he's just arrived a short time ago.
Let him in.
King Xerxes, I'm glad you're awake. I have a request for you regarding a certain man.
Not now, Haman. I need to know something. What shall be done to the man who the king delights to honor?
Well, let me think on that a moment, my king. Who would the king delight to honor more than me? For the man whom the king delights to honor, let a royal robe be brought, which the king has worn, and let a royal crest be placed upon his head, and let both the robe and the crest be delivered by one of the king's most noble princes. And let that prince place him on the king's finest horse, and parade him throughout all of the land, declaring before him, thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delights to honor.
Excellent. Do so for the man named Mordecai.
Mordecai?
Do you know him?
Yes, my king, but he is
Mordecai, the Jew who sits within the gates. Leave nothing undone that you have spoken.
Yes, my king. Haman, what? You're forgetting something.
Everyone watched as Haman did as the king commanded and honored his enemy Mordecai. But with every step he took and every proclamation he made, you could see his hatred grow.
What do you want?
Put this on.
I don't understand.
Just do it.
Okay. Now why?
this.
A royal crest. What is happening? Why are you doing this?
King's orders.
Oh, really? Well, in that case, help me tie this, would you? And does the king know you're honoring one you plan to kill shortly?
Just put the royal crest on. You might be honored now, but your time is still short.
It's on. You're done. You can go.
Not quite. Follow me.
Okay.
Make way for the man whom the king delights to honor.
You heard him. Make way.
Make way for the man whom the king delights to honor.
Haman is now a friend of the Jew, it seems.
Make way for the man whom the king delights to honor.
Yes, my friend Haman and I have somewhere very important to be.
Make way for the man whom the king delights
to honor.
When Haman had finished honoring Mordecai, I saw Mordecai return to the king's gate and began praying. Haman fled to his house, thoroughly mortified and filled with an uncontrollable rage.
Oh, yay. You're home.
That thorn in my flesh has become a dagger in my side.
What is it now?
Mordecai.
I thought you were going to hang him.
I tried.
Oh, you poor thing. The wealthiest man in all of Susa, second only to the king, not invited to one, but 2 banquets by the queen herself. Yet you can't enjoy any of it because of a single Jew.
He mocks me to my face. Every day he refuses to bow to me.
Isn't it enough that in just a few days' time, he and all of his people will be slaughtered by your hand? Let him live these last few days in peace.
How am I to look forward to the coming massacre when he is still alive?
Oh, settle down. You have another banquet with the king to get ready for.
Settle down. Settle down. Do you know what happened to me today? The king made me honor him of all people.
Honor who?
Mordecai.
What do you mean he made you honor him?
When I went before the king, before I could even ask permission to have Mordecai hanged, he suddenly remembered that it was that Jew that saved his life. Of all times to remember such a detail.
I still don't know why he would make you honor him.
The king asked me a question. I thought he was talking about me. He was talking about Mordecai.
What question?
He asked what should be done for the man whom the king delights to honor.
And what did you tell him?
I told him what was to be done, and he made me do that very thing for Mordecai.
Get to the point. How exactly did he make you honor him?
He had me place him on the king's finest horse, in his royal robe and royal crest, and parade him throughout all of Susa.
The Jewish God has set his face against you. Because Mordecai is of Jewish origin, you cannot stand against him. See, your downfall has already begun.
Snap out of your trance, woman. Who are you to say such things to me?
I've come to escort you to the banquet which Queen Esther has prepared for you.
So the king and Haman prepared to go to a second dinner with Queen Esther, where she planned to make her request known. Haman was so filled with blind arrogance at the honor of such an invitation that he dismissed the prophetic declaration of his wife as the ravings of a crazy woman.
I just couldn't ask last time, Daniel. The king was right there, but Haman, I was afraid.
It's okay to be afraid, but you must rise above your fear. You must go and tell the king.
I know. Here they come now. Pray for me, Daniel.
Hurry, Haman. Look how beautiful she is. It would be a disgrace to keep her waiting.
Of course, your majesty.
I see that you have prepared all of my favorite foods. Well, what of yours?
I've missed you.
What was I thinking? Going a month without seeing you?
Well, war waits for no man.
One must learn to wait for me. So tell me, my love, will you continue to invite us to more banquets, or will you finally present your request? It shall be given to you, up to half my kingdom.
Here is what I ask of my king. If I found favor in your sight, and if it pleases you, then please let my life be given me and my people's lives, for we have been sold to be massacred and annihilated.
Your life, Esther. Who is trying to take your life? You are my beloved queen. No one dare lift a finger against you.
Had we been sold as slaves, I would have held my tongue. My troubles would not have been worth bothering my king over, even though the enemy could never compensate for the king's loss.
You are serious. Who would dare presume to do such a thing against you and your people? This is monstrous. Where is he?
The enemy is this wicked Haman.
Queen Esther, had I known that you were
What? A Jew?
Yes, it's because of one man that all this happened. One horrible Jew that gives the rest a bad name.
And who is this Jew that you speak of?
His name is Mordecai, and if you knew him, you'd understand why I did what I did. You'd hate him too.
Is that so?
Yes, Queen Esther. Please, you must convince the king.
Haman, remove yourself from me.
Please tell the king you desire him to be merciful with me.
Haman, please!
Will you also assault the queen while I'm still in the house?
Please, your majesty. I did not know that Queen Esther was a Jew when I gave the order for their extermination. I only ever hated one man, Mordecai, and wished to see him dead. I thought him to be a representation of their entire people, and that you would thank me for ridding the kingdom of such vermin.
Mordecai revealed the plot to kill the king, thus saving you. Mordecai, my uncle, the man who raised me.
You call the man who saved my life, the man who raised the queen, my wife, vermin?
Please, your majesty. It wasn't my idea to rid the land of the Jews. It was my wife. She has a wicked heart and has bewitched me into doing what she said. Punish her, not I.
Have you no shame, man? You will die this day.
Your majesty, Haman has already built a gallows which he intends to hang Mordecai with.
Please, your majesty. I only gave the order in service of the king.
Get this excuse of a man out of my sight, and see that he is hung on the very gallows he has built for Mordecai, and bring Mordecai to me.
No, you must listen. You must stop. I'm a good person, really.
Why didn't you tell me sooner?
I was afraid you would not want me, if you knew I was not Esther of Susa, but Hadassah, the Jew.
Impossible. I'm only sorry. The person I have appointed has caused you such grief.
He was an evil man who snaked his way into your affections. It's no fault of your own. He used his hatred toward Mordecai.
Mordecai, I must speak to this uncle of yours.
Mordecai!
Mordecai, I have trusted the wrong man in advising me once, and it is a mistake I do not wish to repeat. From this moment forward, you will take Haman's position as chief advisor.
Then for my first act as chief advisor, I would like to implore the king to undo the decree set forth by him.
I cannot.
Please, my lord, you must undo what Haman has done. This scheme he has devised against the Jews will mean my death.
No one will dare lift a finger against you, Hadassah.
But how can I endure seeing the destruction of my people? If it pleases the king, and if I have found favor in his sight, let it be written to revoke the law devised by Haman to annihilate the Jews.
Even I cannot revoke the law signed by my signet ring. But do this, write a decree in my name concerning the Jews as you see fit.
Belteshazzar, inscribe this edict. To every Jew of all provinces of King Xerxes, on the 13th of the 12th month, in the month of Adar, gather together and protect your lives. Destroy, kill, and annihilate all the forces of evil men that would seek to harm you.
Never before has it been permitted to defend our possessions, our lives.
It is what is right. Well done, Mordecai.
See that this decree is copied by the scribes of all provinces, to be translated into the language of each people. Dispatch this decree on the king's fastest horses, so that we might be ready on that day to defend ourselves from our enemies.
I remember that day like it was yesterday. It was a sight to behold. The city erupted with joy at the news of the defeat of Haman. For us Jews, it was a time filled with happiness and laughter. We celebrated, and we were for the first time honored in the realm. Gentiles looked on at the mighty hand of God that saved the Jewish people, and many of them realized there was one true God. As a result, many people became Jews that day. As for me, I always knew there was one true God, but it was that day I realized He cares for me.
Mordecai's fame is already spreading throughout all the provinces.
Who would have thought Gentiles would become Jews for the fear of us?
And all the provinces, nobles, governors, and king's chief advisors helped our people because of the fear of our little nation had seized them.
And what of you, Hadassah? Is there any other request you would like to make me? Half my kingdom, perhaps?
What more can I possibly want? My people stand victorious. Our adversaries are bowed low, and Haman, the enemy of all the Jews, has been defeated.